What's up, everybody? It's time for our weekly update. We're huddled here in our little bedroom in
Sophie is
Tamarindo.
napping, and there's lots of kids playing outside, so it's pretty loud.
It's beautiful. We're in this amazingly nice hotel in Tamarindo, but just next door to us, a family just moved in, so they've kind of taken over the pool area, so we can't really chat.
Our plans for a quiet recording outside.
Yeah. This is officially what you define as luxury problems, by the way. But we're in Tamarindo, which is a very popular destination for tourists and travelers, particularly from the U.S. Very different from where we just were in the mountains.
Yeah, it's very touristy. We kind of knew about that ahead of time. People nickname it Tamarindo, because it's like super Western. You actually don't really feel like you're in Costa Rica here. It's a shame in a lot of regards. We didn't know that. Really, we kind of knew. But it's so useful, though. It's such useful contrast because we talk a lot about contrast and how you learn what your excitement is sort of from experiencing things that are less exciting or more exciting or this and that. So it's been really interesting coming here from the magical time we had near Chiripo. We're correctly pronouncing it now. That's such a place that is really like, we just had a magical kind of almost inexplicable connection drawn in. I mean, certainly the nature is majestic. It feels like an energetic vortex. The people are deep and rich and creative, and there's so much there, but like there's just, uniquely suited for us. We were just kind of like pulled into that place, and we come here and we're like, really excited about, I guess, what I would call like some of our checklist items. If we, we're like writing a checklist for a place, like, oh, they have a vegan restaurant around the corner, and there's 2 yoga studios within 3-minute walking distance, and the beach is here, and there's like so many great things, but it just doesn't have the same depth. You lose a lot in coming to a place like this that's so Western. You lose so much of the quality of the place, of the kinds of things that we're looking for.
It's definitely not the place for us. We knew that in advance, but it's kind of near where we need to leave from, so it made sense to come here for a few days and just sort of see what this was about. And I definitely am, like, when we're done with this video, I'm going to grab a bite to eat. Although, I may eat here, but I could literally walk outside and get a freshly cut, beautiful salad, which can't really get that up in, you can, but at certain times of the day, and
it's more like at a friend's house out of their very fresh garden.
Which is far better, obviously, but when you're just visiting a place, it's less and less accessible, that sort of thing. So anyway, it's great to be here, but the contrast is extremely orienting. It's dramatic, so it's very orienting, meaning a lot of clarity comes from that, which is great. The theme we wanted to explore very briefly is the wisdom of your excitement. This is something we've talked about. I think we talked about this on a podcast, maybe the year-end one or the one after the van trip.
I think a few of them we've talked about this, actually.
Yeah.
And our first podcast in Costa Rica, too. The podcast we recorded in Costa Rica and Santa Teresa, I think we talked about this a bit, too.
Yeah, but how, follow your excitement is more than just kind of experiencing contrast, say, about work or about where you may want to live or about friends or community. It's more than just the outside things that get seen and handled and clarified and expanded and clearer. It's also the inner stuff. And boy, for the last 24 hours, maybe it's Tamarindo is just filled with triggers, but I've been very triggered, and some things that have been kind of lurking in the shadows of my psyche, if you will, have emerged and been clarified to me, and it's been extraordinary, unexpected, not like I was looking for any sort of awareness like that, but yet the clarity, the healing that I feel coming through based on that. And it really has to do with our relationship and being new parents and still kind of adapting to having a child. All that stuff. I mean, my parents divorced when I was very young, so that kind of that that reality permeates my more primal relationships, obviously, with Teresa and Sophia. So seeing that and having some healing occur around it was very surprising. And it's really all kind of coming through this very simple thing of follow your excitement.
Yeah, I think, we all have these really deep set childhood wounds and traumas and patterns. Mine is more about, trying to make everything right in my family and, be a perfect child for my father, basically, for lots of different reasons. And so that theme is carried through for me in our relationship, like trying to be perfect and manage everything and manage everything for Stephen, manage everything for Sophia or whatever. And so, I guess what we wanted to say is that, your excitement leads you down a path to help you shed those things, to get closer to your true self, so you need to kind of go through the gauntlet of fire of passing through that stuff, getting triggered, seeing your triggers, understanding them, and being ready to kind of move through them. And your excitement is a path, not just to, if you want to manifest the life that you're meant to create, in this life, but in order to do that, you have to move through your human life, and you have to move through the triggers and the things you believe yourself to be, the limits, the lack, the fears, and all those things that are kind of clouding your subconscious and not enabling you to manifest the gift you were meant to give to the world, your calling, and so it's been really it's a perfect experience for us here. To be doing this together, and it just shows itself every time. We're on this very intimate journey together, trying to find a home, and shakes things up for us. Not having a home that's fixed and not having kind of the comforts of our old environment and
any structure every day,
or any structure.
We recreate structure.
And those things can help you feel safe, or can help you sometimes avoid some of those. The ways that you really want to grow to be as free as you can be.
Yeah, it's been extraordinary, and we've experienced this before, and it's really been accelerated since we moved into the van and began traveling. And so, your excitement following that, it comes with all this healing to prepare you to be able to be even more fully expressed and more fully the highest version of yourself.
I think the podcast that we talked the most about was the repatterning from the van trip, because it's the same 44. Idea that
we'll link to it.
We had all these ideas of what living in a van would be like, and selling all our things and leaving our old routines behind. And then what it actually was this sort of similar idea of making us be in such an intimate relationship, the three of us together with Sophia, that in intimate relationships, you encounter yourself.
Big time.
You pick a mirror for your own deepest fears and deepest buried traumas. And so it's just perfect. And for an intimate relationship to survive, you have to really help each other kind of be patient and be loving and be present for each other to move through that, if you're both on the path to something higher.
Yeah, we're running out of time. There's more to say on that, yes. but we're going to wrap up. We'll link to that episode where I think we go into a lot more detail, and I'm sure this topic will return because it's a popular one for us. But we need to wrap up. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, please, for more updates that come out every Friday. We'd love for you to subscribe. Check out some of our other content, our podcast. You can find many of our podcast episodes now live on YouTube, but go to iTunes, check out the Ownstream podcast. We have a weekly show. I just came back from an interview for next week's program with the head of the La Paz school up in Brasilito, and it was extraordinary. It blew my mind how marvelous it was. So you're in for a treat. That's coming out next week. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out the Ownstream podcast. Stay tuned for more. Lots of love to everybody out there. Bye.
Bye.